welcome back. Now, I'm going to interrupt you in your planning of April Fool's jokes for all your friends and colleagues out there. I'm very excited about April Fool's Day. But we have with us, we've been speaking to Nadine Summer Singer, and just before the break, she sang a beautiful song for us, Ave Maria by Beyonce. And Nadine, we have you back as well. But are you planning any April Fool's jokes on anyone this morning?
No, usually I'm the one who gets pranked on someone.
Oh, I see. So you're going to go back home now and then expect all the calls.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Okay, then. It's like she's, okay with her role as the victim here. She's used to it.
I'm always a victim. Even with my friends, like I said before, like I get bugged all the time, and so I'm kind of used to it. Just listen to it and just sit there and wait. So.
She's all cool about it now. All right, so that's the best way to be, I guess.
Yeah,
Speaking about your friends now, I'm sure during school as well, you must have taken part in different things in school activities when it comes to music and singing. Let's talk about what school life was like.
Yeah. I was the youngest member in the choir at one point.
Wow.
The senior choir. And the senior choir used to drop like that because I was so small. Right in the middle. And yes, I did take part in inter-house singing competitions and things like that, and school was really good too. I mean, I went to HSC Bamalapicha, and our school really emphasizes music and arts, which is a good thing.
Definitely. So then you had like a lot of backing, right, from when you were small,
yes.
And school life, things like that. And you went out there. What was it like to perform in public for the first time? Now you were on TV, you were on a show in Kazakhstan, and all of these things. So what was the experience like to break out into the music scene here?
Well, my first public performance was when I was 7, actually.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, because I used to, like I said, do all these exams, and I used to win prizes and things like that, so you have to perform. One of the things, when I was a kid, I was never nervous though. It was like a big,
So you had stage fright?
Sorry?
Did you have stage fright?
Not when I was small, no.
Okay.
But when I grew up, yes. I used to come up on stage and I used to first spot my parents, and then I'd smile at them, and then I'd go to the piano and I'd start playing. It was very relaxed, but as I started growing older,
there's a lot of pressure on your parents to make sure that they're there at every single performance.
Yeah, and not to laugh, because if I see them laughing or something, I'll probably start laughing on stage. Which wouldn't really,
Yeah, yes.
That actually happened in school once. Not with my parents, but something funny happened and during the senior choir, and I couldn't hold it anymore. So I stopped singing and I was laughing throughout the whole song.
Oh my God.
In front of the principal and everybody. So yeah,
well, lessons
didn't really work out too well.
Good memories at the end of the day, aren't they?
Oh, it was hilarious. That is.
But when it comes to your favorite medium of performance, do you prefer TV or radio or live concerts?
Live, I'd say.
Really?
Yes.
Even though there's a lot of added pressure there.
No, when I get on stage, I don't feel that pressure. Like, I think I feel more pressure if it's just a few people, looking at me and for me to sing. But I love live performances. That's just
the absolute best for you.
Definitely.
And what about dancing as well now? Do you try to incorporate that aspect into your performances as well?
Depends on the performance. I mean, if it's more of an up-tempo kind of song, then I guess you have to move around a little bit.
Yeah, I get. And it's all about being a good performer, isn't it? It's not just about being a good singer.
Exactly, yes.
And do you find that lots of people sort of miss out on that, the fact that when it's a live concert, people expect a performance? Because some people just stand there in the middle and sing.
Yeah.
And in your opinion, what makes a great performer?
Well, I think it's the full package. You've got to be able to sing. You've got to know how to relate to the crowd, depending on the song that you're singing. Get that emotion across. Not just sing there. Singing technically right is really good, but you've got to, the crowd has to feel what you're singing and feel that emotion with you, and if it's a fast song, obviously move around a little bit and
get everyone going.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
It's true. But what's the best audience that you've sung for so far?
I don't know, probably would have been in Singapore actually.
Okay.
Yeah. When I sang for a charity concert there, the crowd was just amazing.
Wow. You got a different vibe in different places, don't you?
Definitely.
Do you find that, like when you go abroad and you sing, that you have a different vibe from your audience in each place?
Yeah, and I think foreigners are more out there a little bit, so they really enjoy the music, and they don't sometimes in Sri Lanka they don't really appreciate, sometimes that happens.
Maybe. So you go out there and then
they really and what happens is they really connect with you, like while you're singing, they're really into the performance as well. So as a performer, you feel good about it, that someone is enjoying your music, and I think
that difference is there, I guess. But when you're performing, I can't imagine performing to like a live audience or a huge crowd, things like that. So singers do experience things, mistakes that happen during a performance.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, like you can get pitchy, or the music goes wrong, your backing goes wrong, the track goes wrong. All of these things can happen. So you teach as well. You teach students, you train students in singing. So how would you say was the best way to handle mistakes on stage?
Well, I think at any performance, there's always going to be pitchy notes. There's always going to be, technical issues. Main thing is you just got to go on without, making facial expressions, which I always tell my kids when they make a mistake, they'll make a facial expression and then everybody knows that you made a mistake. Because most of the time people don't even really know.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's human. I mean, we're all humans, so we're anyway going to make mistakes. But, you just got to go on with your performance and, just relax on stage and not make a big deal out of it.
Okay, and then that's just go with the flow, and
just go with the flow at that time.
Yes.
I mean, even if you I remember when I was in school at one of my competitions, I actually forgot the lyrics of the song that I was singing, and then I made up my own lyrics at that time and I sang.
Did anyone notice? Really?
Nobody even noticed. I was like, in my head I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But yeah,
so the main thing is to be able to think on your feet, isn't it?
You just got to take control of the situation, and then
But in your opinion, what's the difference between a musician and a professional musician? How do you make that leap and become a really great professional?
I think the difference between a professional musician is just like what we just discussed about, handling yourself on stage.
Okay.
If you can handle the crowd and if you can handle your mistakes, and there are sometimes the mic doesn't work. It goes off suddenly.
Yes.
A professional musician would just leave the mic and start singing and get the crowd going.
Okay. Wow.
Without making a big deal of it at that time. But I think that's
important too.
That's where the professional part comes in.
Okay,
that's personally what I think.
But now you are a seasoned professional for sure, and you've had many years of experience. But I'm sure that we have some beginners who are watching our show this morning as well. People who want to maybe make it in the music industry. So, what would you say would be the best advice you can give them?
Well, I personally think music industry is not an easy industry to be in anywhere around the world.
Definitely.
It's very tough, and there's a lot of sacrifice that you need to do. Whenever you have a performance the night before, say your friends are hanging out, you've got to think you can't go because you've got to rest your voice.
Okay.
A lot of sacrifice.
A lot of discipline, isn't it?
A lot of discipline, know. And but if you really want to do it, if you really want to sing and be a musician, then you just go for it, and just believe that you can do it, and get into a lot of competitions, get yourself,
okay,
to
so
concerts.
It's not just about deciding, you have to go after the opportunities.
You have to, yeah.
Okay.
I had 2 shows of my own actually. The first show was all professional musicians, and that was in aid of the cancer hospital. And the show after that was for all upcoming artists.
Wow.
So I had kids like from everywhere coming and auditioning, from 5 to about 22. And it's amazing how much of talent we have.
Really?
And all of them were on stage for the first time, so they were all so nervous. They're like, Miss, what should we do? What should we do this? I was like, but it was such a beautiful concert. And
you have to be confident for all of them.
Yeah, and keep my nerves going at the same. But there's so much talent here, so you just need to push yourself and get yourself out there, I think.
Okay. So take up all the opportunities that
definitely, yeah.
Because I'm sure that there are some people who just freak out and get nervous about all of these things.
I had a few of those.
Yes.
Amazing voices, but they were getting so freaked out. One girl was having voice damage. I was like, no, it's all in your mind. And but I'd say like everyone performed so well, and you know it shows that there's so much of talent in Sri Lanka, which needs to be given that little push
and to come forward. But when speaking about practices and things like that, how often should you practice? I mean, how many hours a week, or is it something like that? Is there a special formula that will get you there?
Well, when you're starting out, you need to practice a lot, I think. But you still need to keep practicing. But when it comes to your voice, you've got to remember you must not over practice, because you can actually lose your voice by doing that, unlike an instrument.
Yeah, okay.
You know, but I think however much you know you've been performing or how old you get, you still need to practice. Practice makes perfect, you know.
And also I need to ask you this now. This is like a trick that I've heard of, and I can ask you because you teach others as well. Does the lime and honey thing actually work?
It does.
It
what
does.
happens is it actually kind of cuts off whatever phlegm that you probably would be having around there.
Really?
It does.
Because I've heard this over and over again, just
It
have
does
lime
work.
and honey,
I
lime
do
and
that
honey.
too.
Really?
But honestly, like I know some people say, you know, you shouldn't, you should always drink really warm stuff. But that doesn't really agree with me at all.
Really?
Whenever I drink really warm stuff before a performance, my voice gets irritated. Doesn't mean you drink ice stuff as well.
Yes. But just normal, room temperature.
Yeah, room temperature. Everyone's like, oh, how come you're just drinking whatever you want? But I think that depends on each person though.
Okay.
But
so then the key is maybe to find out what works for you. Yeah, definitely. But now, when you teach as well, do you what are the things that you aim to really bring forward in your pupils? And if you can leave your mark as a teacher, what would you really want to leave behind?
Well, if I'd say I'd like to bring out, you know, the personality and the character of each person, because whenever they come to me, you know, either they're imitating somebody, or you get to a point where when you're young, you know, you want to sound like someone else, but you've got to sound your own. And I think as a teacher we can bring that out of a student, and you know, to give them the confidence and put them up on shows, and you know, just making my students a great performer is you know what I really and I don't really scream at them, things like that.
You're not a strict teacher who will.
Well, it depends. Whenever I teach at a school, then yes, because you know, otherwise they'll probably sit on my head. But when it comes to individual lessons, no, I mean, I don't really think there's any point scaring your student.
Maybe that's true.
Because you don't really get anywhere with the student in the end, you know. I mean.
So you go for, I'm sure, I can't imagine you being a very strict teacher. I'm sure she's a very nice teacher and all her students love her a lot. But it's been a really great pleasure having you here on the show as well, Nadine.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for having a little chat with us and sharing
problem.
so many tidbits about the music industry here, as well as your journey so far. And it's been lovely to have you here this morning. I hope you've enjoyed yourself
as well. Yes, of course. Thank you for having me.
Definitely. All right. So with that, we are going to end this morning's segment of Good Morning Sri Lanka. But we will be back tomorrow as well with another great show. Till then, take care. Have a great April Fool's Day. Don't get too fooled by everything that people throw your way. And just have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow.